Okay, in this video we're going to look at how to make a semi-complex label with SafetyPro Label Designer. I went ahead and searched in image search for some rack labels, warehouse labels, and came up with this one. It's pretty simple. We're going to do the one on the right. It's a simple label, but it has a lot of elements to it. So let's go ahead and get started. That looks like about a 4" by 18" label, so we'll get that going. Keep in mind that this video is not for training for people that are not familiar with the software. If you haven't seen the Getting Started series on SafetyPro Label Designer, we definitely recommend you watch those. This video is to show you kind of a walkthrough on how to create a particular type of label. Alright, so we got a 4 by 18 in landscape. Let's go ahead and zoom out and get started. First thing, I'm going to start with this easy stuff on the left here. We kind of maybe a aisle identifier. We're not going to match their data exactly. We're just going to make our own label up. So let's say this is row AA00. Using just a simple text object here, turn it into a stretchable, and we're going to go ahead and make it Arial black. That looks pretty good. Let's copy that and paste it. Shortcut to getting all those settings set without having to do it every time. And let's make this we're going to do racks 11 through 14. I'm going to make that kind of tall. Okay, you know what? I also want to put a line around that, I think. So let's make a box back here. And make it a little thicker. There we go. I think that would make this stand out a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to use this to send it to the back so that we can grab these other objects in front of it. And just stretch that, kind of see what my limits are. There we go. That to me looks pretty good. Maybe we'll just bring that down. Alright, we're going to go with that. That's maybe not perfect, but that's alright. Okay, there we go. We got our kind of our aisle identifier there. Okay, let's look at our label one more time. So this next part is basically the same layout repeated 4 times. So we got a barcode, a letter, and a number. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that's going to all get kind of tight for copy and paste, but we'll get to that here in a second. Let's start with the simple text. Actually, no, let's copy this so that we can save ourselves a tiny bit of time. That way we can just type over it. Okay, we got A. Alright, there's 2 ways to do this. You could just make all 4 of these, just manually slap them in place. You can make one and copy paste it. I'm going to show you some of the downfalls of making one and copy pasting it. Alright, so one, it's easy to copy this across because you don't have a lot going on. But when you start adding things like the barcode, and you're going to have a number down below, so let's copy that and paste it. Okay. We're going to do this in a certain order to make it easier, but I'll show you why. If we were to make our number down here, this is going to be 11. A11, and then let's make this match A11, and we're going to rotate it here 90. Okay, now at this point we're getting kind of close to our layout and what we want it to look like for this section, right? Except we want this to be white text on a black background. Well, that introduces several objects stacked on top of each other, and it becomes difficult to copy paste. So what we're going to do is this. Let's just move this all around here. Let's add if you look here, there's a dividing line between these boxes. So let's go back and add a dividing line. So what we're doing here is 90% of that one section. And we're going to rotate that 90 degrees as well. Oops. 90 degrees. And stretch it out. Okay, we're going to call that our divider, just like that. Okay, so let's say this is most of our layout right here. It looks pretty good. Let's just highlight that and copy it across to start with. Copy, paste. Let's grab those. And as you're grabbing those items like this, you can see, I don't know if you can see in the video, but green lines appear around your selected items. So when you hit paste, you draw the box around those ones you want to move, and you'll see you can draw it just so that the green line is where you want it. That's looking pretty good so far. So we're copying and pasting that across. Alright. If you draw the box too big, you'll grab stuff you didn't want to grab. So that right there, I mean, with a little bit of work, we created it one time, copied it 4 times across. Okay, now all we have to do is go in and change these to what they need to be. Select each object, highlight the text over here. This is the tip you learned in another video. And to change it, type in the new data. All right, 12. Okay, 11 through 14, A through D. Looking pretty good. We need to change our barcodes. Don't forget that. A12. Oh, no, not A12. Sorry. B12. C13. And D14. Want those to scan properly. Okay. That's looking pretty good so far. Now let's get the numbers on the bottom. That's our last thing. So we're going to create a box here. Okay. And that box, you're going to want to set it to, go down here, set your fill style to solid. And your color needs to be black. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we're going to use this to send that item to the back. That will let us select this text in the front, which is black right now. Let's go ahead and change the text to white. I'm just going to type it in. You can do it either way. Alright, that's looking pretty good, except that I want this up a little bit. At this point, this grid is annoying me, so I'll snap to grid, turn it off. I can kind of adjust these things the way I want them. Now, once again, with these two objects here, it's tricky to grab the one you want. You got to grab outside of that top one. There you go, just like that. So that's not too hard to do. We could actually maybe copy both of those across. Let's just give it a try. Always good to try it out. Those are both selected. Copy them, paste them. Let's see if they're selectable. They are. Okay, well, let's try this. I'm multi-selecting by holding Control, and then I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard and delete those. Okay, now I'm going to copy this one, paste it. Let's see, where did that land? Did I paste it? Oh, I accidentally deleted it with cut, it looks like. Alright, paste it one more time. Move. You notice that I'm working outside the label. That's just to give myself more room so I'm not bumping in, I'm not grabbing all these other things. So there we go, I've created 3 separate ones. I'm going to go ahead and just change these right here. Make it easy on myself. And again, I'm doing this the way I would do it, just so you can have those kind of tips and tricks. Alright, I'm going to move, and I can move them both together up where I want them. And at this point, it probably would be wise to turn on Snap to Grid so we can get something the way you want it. That's that. I just want to be able to put it exactly where I want it. So there we go. Alright. And I'll show you a little bit of alignment too at the end here. Alright, and that's not too bad. And not too bad. Alright, there we go. But let's say you really want to have these text boxes lining up. I'm selecting the text boxes. Well, let me show you another way to select multiple items. You can use this multi-select tool right up here. So I'm going to click on my, just make sure I get the right one here. Problem with the multi-tool is that if you get the wrong one, you have to click out of it. Versus if you just hold the control key on your keyboard, you can select and deselect with just the control key. That's why I kind of like it, but your mileage may vary. You can click this and then just single click each one. Alright, with all those selected, all those numbers selected, I don't know if you can see the green line, but I'm going to go ahead and click this alignment tool. Now the bottom of each one is matching, so they're lined up better. And then we can click these boxes in the background as well. Oops, got the wrong one. And do the same thing. Okay, now they're lined up. Okay, so now with everything lined up, they look a little bit better. I could do other things, like I could select this and line them up vertically so that they're lined up. You could do anything you want. Since we copied these and Snap to Grid was turned on when we move these, you can see that they're already lined up in the right place. So there you go. In a few short minutes, we've recreated this label. Almost exactly, well, not exactly. I would say we created their label style in a very usable format in just a few minutes. So and if you look over here in your item property list, this label has a lot of different individual items. It's easy to look at. It's not too busy of a label, especially for a 4x18 inch. This is not too busy at all, in my opinion. But it's complex in the sense that it has a lot of objects that are laid out. And that's the kind of how I would do it if I were making this label. If I wanted to get real nitpicky on this, I would also note that there's a little bit extra space on the other side, so you can customize that, and I could type in 17.5. But we'll leave it like that for now. If you need more help with the labeling software, make sure to watch our other videos. Also, you can call us toll-free at 877-762-9280 for tech support at any time. Thank you for choosing SafetyPro.